Hi, I'm Darvishi, and I'm the Persian pop princess.
Pomegranate martini, feel the breeze, it's healing. Brows thick and looking fine.
It is a stage name, but also birth given. It's my last name. I feel like it's cool enough that it sounds like it's made up, but no, it's just my last name. But I'm very proud of my last name and how Persian it is. So I was like, we're gonna make this front and center. My whole family is very musical. Like there's always music playing in the house. But I was actually raised on music that sounds so different. I was raised on like Bee Gees and like a lot of Persian artists like Gugush or like Arash or Mansoor, and I loved them growing up. And my mom always had music videos playing in the car. Like they had like the little like TV on the back seat of her car, and I was just obsessed with it. And I think it just came naturally to me that I always wanted to be singing all the time, and I wanted to write stuff. And I think probably it was the Disney stars. Like I would see them performing and I was like, oh, I want to do that so bad. Like my first ever concert was Miley Cyrus when she was still Hannah Montana. And I loved everything about it. And I was like, something in me, although it sounds crazy, was like, I think this is my path forward. I think this is what I'm meant to be doing.
Nothing ever feels like it's enough.
So when I was younger, I would write, and it was so weird, like I just write silly songs. It was more like a diary. Honestly, it was my form of therapy. I was a very anxious, I still am, but maybe I've contained it a little bit more. When I was younger, I was extremely anxious, and I had separation anxiety from my mom, and I got really nervous when I was at home alone or something. So I would just start writing and singing to fill the space. And I think writing as a form of therapy was really helpful for me because I could logically figure out what I was thinking and what might be bothering me. And once I started doing that, eventually I'd add a little fun melody and somehow it would form into a song. And I remember, because some of the first songs I ever learned were Taylor Swift songs on the guitar, I remember like, I was so nerdy. I studied the structure of her songs. I was like, oh, what's a verse? What's a chorus? How do you do that? How do you even make a song? And eventually I started practicing it myself, and it all just came together by like the time I was like in my teenage years, yeah.
I want more than a billionaire who's got no cares at all. I want more, 'cause I'm getting bored of golden floors. It's not my fault that I can't live without the rush of buying everything I touch. Nothing ever feels like it's enough. I want more.
So I actually, funny enough, was doing something completely different when I started music. I studied computer science, so I was doing like a project manager job at a tech company. And at nighttime, I would do music. And it happened a little bit by accident. I linked up with one of my old friends, and he was a producer. He was studying it at NYU at Clive Davis, and he ended up like reaching out, and we ended up just writing songs for fun together over the summer. And then there was one I loved so much. I was like, can I keep this? And he was like, yes. So then I released that. And when I first started, I was very indie singer-songwriter-y. And eventually I felt like the more I wrote, the more I understood who I wanted to be as an artist. In the beginning ones, I had my other artist name, which is just my full name, Susan Darvishi. And then while I still had that name, I started adding more of my Persian heritage into the songs, like through melodies or instrumentation. I was like, wait a second, this is so fun. What if I did more of this? And that's what, started the whole like brand change and becoming Darvishi, and just trying to incorporate it as much as possible and present myself as the Persian pop princess.
La
So usually I work really hard with the producer. I send a bunch of reference tracks. I'm like, hey, I think we should add this Persian instrument like the ney, which is like a Persian flute, or we should add the santur or the sitar or something like that. And those sonic references usually help build that world a little bit better. But yeah, that's it for the most part. I just try my best to weave it together, and if it happens, amazing. And if it doesn't happen, that's okay too. Like sometimes it doesn't have to be forced. You want it to sound natural. I am so excited. Jelo means to move forward in Farsi. And this was a song about hyping myself up. I was having a little bit of writer's block. I wasn't sure what I was gonna do next when I wrote this song. I was like in the bath, stressed out. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I was like, well, wait a second. I love fun songs when I'm feeling down. Maybe I should write one for myself to hype myself up. And I wrote everything I love, like pomegranate martinis and stuff like that. And I ended up writing the song and I was like, okay, we have it. And I think it's my favorite release so far. I'm so excited to share it with everyone. When we first were in the studio, like on the first day, second day, Corey, my producer, it was like at one point the song was like halftime and I was like, wait a second, I like it, but I think it's a little slow. Can we make it like a little bit more up tempo? And then we like raised the BPM and everything and it just like clicked perfectly. I was like, that's what I want. This is amazing. And it sounds so weird to say, but I feel it in my heart. Like I can dance to this. Like this is hitting a spot where I'm like, yes, this is what I want the song to sound like. And I get so excited when that happens. Yeah, my whole goal is to show a little bit of Persian culture to people and introduce it as something, not so scary. Like I don't think we've seen this side of it yet. And I really want people to see the beauty of our culture. So I'm so excited for that to happen and hopefully people love it as much as I do. Right now we're in like the singles world, but I recently just was formulating ideas for an EP, so that will probably also be on its way. I do have some shows planned. There is a festival happening sometime in October that I will be a part of. I'm very excited for that coming up. But I would say it would be a dream to go on tour, and hopefully we are working towards that and we'll get there very soon. So people can follow me. I feel like I'm most active socially on Instagram, so at Darvishi Music. You can also visit my website, which is darvishimusic.com. And you can, follow me on Spotify, artist named Darvishi. And finally, I do have a TikTok that's also at Darvishi Music. Hi, my name is Darvishi, and you've just been buzzed.